Hey guys, so if I had to pick one drummer that I want to play with, it would probably be Omar Hakim. I just know that he has, played on so many amazing recordings and is so versatile in terms of genre and groove and different musical situations that I feel like it would be A, super fun to groove with him, and B, just amazing to play with somebody that is that eclectic and that has had such an amazing career, and who really appreciates music and the art of laying in the pocket. And I think that it would be super fun to play with him. So that would be my choice of a drummer that I would want to jam with. All right.
Hi everybody, this is Mark Corradetti from my home in Southern California. This week's question was, what drummer would you like to most jam with, either living or dead? Would you like to play with? And I don't know if I'd want to just jam, but I think I'd like to play like with David Garibaldi quite a bit. I'd love to play some Tower of Power charts and just get to know him a little bit, really. I think that would be fantastic. Of course, there's many others, that are no longer with us. I'd love to, play with John Bonham and, all sorts of people, really. But I think that on the top of my list would be David Garibaldi. That's my number one choice of drummers that I would like to play with if I was given the opportunity. Anyway, I hope you have a great day and enjoy. Bye-bye.
Bass players and drummers, yeah, we love drummers. They make our job easy or hard, and we do our best to find drummers that we sound great with. I have lots of drummers that I play with that I fit perfectly with, I think. We sound great, and then on occasion you run into somebody who's a great drummer, but it's just not a perfect match. As we know, there are just so many amazing drummers out there now. A lot of them have incredible technique. In general, I'm attracted to the drummers who are simple and solid and play fantastic grooves. Always about the music, always about the song, not determined to show off what they know, but show off how to make a song feel great. So someone like Steve Gadd, Steve Jordan, these kind of drummers, just groove drummers who have technique, but use it only when it's called for, and mostly just want to play great grooves that fit the music. So that's the kind of drummers that I'm attracted to. Find a drummer you love, find a couple of drummers, and play with them. They'll make you sound better too. All the drummers I play with always make me rise to the level of their greatness or whatever. So yeah, love drummers, love great drummers. Thanks, bye.
Hey dudes and dudettes and every variation therein, Luis Espaillat here from Nashville. What drummer, living or dead, that I'd love to jam with? Again, this is a tough question because it's depending on the mood that strikes me, but a couple that come to mind for sheer difference in musicality and really approaching music as an art. I'd love to jam with Bill Bruford. Obviously he's got a great feel. He's got all those necessary things that make a great drummer to begin with, but he goes off of that as well and kind of paints different colors and things with the way he plays. So that'd be a cool variation. Another one that comes to mind is the great Zigaboo Modaliste from the Funky Meters there in New Orleans, just because anytime I hear that guy play, I just smile, and it's the way he plays, the way he emotes through the drums, and man, that feel, as a bass player, just would love to play with that. It just, even now, just thinking about it makes me smile. The one, though, that first came to mind when this question was posed, though, and this is one that's been on my list for a long time, is Steve Jordan. And Steve being what he's done over the years, but his feel, again, is just undeniable, and like Ziggy, just makes me smile anytime I think about his playing and the thought of playing along with him. I'm really glad to see that John Mayer got his name out to a lot of the newer players and the younger players in the last decade and then some. but his work has spanned a lot more than that, even dating back to the original David Letterman, World's Most Dangerous Band back in the early 80s. But his breadth of work is really, really, really broad. We know him as a real super pocket, funky drummer, but he can do so much more than that. I also came across, he does a show on the Sirius XM station, which is channel 106 on Sirius XM. For those of you who have that, it's called Laying It Down with Steve Jordan, and that is a really fascinating show he does, interview style. He obviously interviews a lot of other drummers from any style. I just listened to his interview with Charlie Watts from the Rolling Stones. But he's obviously interviewed John Mayer, but he's had Sheryl Crow. He had the great Bootsy Collins on there. And just listening to him interview other players, you can tell where his mind as a musician is. And the reason why I love his playing and his approach so much, not just because of his technical abilities and what he does, but really up here and here where it's coming from. You get a sense of that, and I really, really dig that. So there you go. Hope everybody's doing great, and hope to talk to you all soon again. Take care, guys. Bye.
Hello again, everyone. This week's question about with what drummer would I like to jam? Honestly, I'm going to be very short in this week's, but also very serious. It has been my privilege to have some correspondence with Kenny Aronov, and honestly, if I had to answer with a gun to my head the question, who is the most important musician for me as I'm trying to build a career, Lee Sklar and Kenny Aronov would have to be my answer. The fact that they have played so, not just successively, and also successfully, in so many genres for so many years, and that they are still in demand as people as well as musicians. When I have spoken with Kenny, he has treated me as though I were an equal. In absolutely no way am I, but that's the way that he's talked to me, and answering questions and asking some questions, as though he and I were on equal footing. And I've had the same experience with Leland Sklar. So to be able to jam with Kenny and listen to not only how he hears the music, but how he feels it, and playing different styles, and where he puts the one, and I mean that both in terms of time, but also physically on the drum. That would be a invaluable and priceless experience. And besides Mr. Aronov, in March of this year, 2020, a very dear friend of mine passed away. Her profession was not drumming, but it certainly was her passion. She was an American drummer who was living and working in Amsterdam. And she and I spoke on a Wednesday, and Friday morning I was told that she had passed away late Wednesday night. So aside from what I said about Mr. Aronov, I would love to be able to jam with Miss Gordon one more time. She was a very dear friend. We had only known one another for about a year, and she had already booked her flight, which would have gotten canceled anyway because of this whole virus deal. But Miss Donna Gordon would be a joy and a dream to be able to see again and play with her in the rhythm section. That's my answer for this week. I look forward to what's coming up. All these Q&As are getting more and more fun. I hope that we are both educational as well as entertaining with our answers. Everyone have a good day, and see you next time. Bye.
Everything Bass, how's everybody doing? This is Maurice in Los Angeles, from Woodland Hills, California. And we're talking about drummers this week. And the drummer I would most like to jam with, I think the most fair answer I could give is Chad Smith from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Been a fan of that band for a long time, and that groove and that bass and drum relationship is great. But I've seen him in clinics and met him a couple times, and he is an amazing drummer, and he's got a wide range of talent, and it's very musical on the kit. But yeah, hard to not mention a lot of other drummers that were not too far behind on that list. One of the first drummers that really caught my ear when I was coming up through the music business was a guy named Tommy Aldridge, who I first got exposed to through recordings for the Pat Travers Band. This awesome guitar player out of Florida, and he had this trio. And Mars Cowley was a bass player in that. But God, that was a great band. And Tommy Aldridge played with Ozzy Osbourne for a little while too, and he's been in several projects. But he's a masterful musician on the drum kit. Tim Alexander from Primus is another one that comes to mind. Abe Laboriel Jr. Wow, what a special musician that kid is. I think his most famous gig is playing with Paul McCartney, but he ends up in a lot of performances and plays with a lot of different people. He's amazing. But yep, for me, Chad Smith is going to be the guy I put at the top of the list. All right, everybody have a great week, and yeah, slide into your holidays nice, and hope to see you guys next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Wow, what drummer would I most like to jam with? Well, initially my first thought was Neil Peart, but I just realized I'd probably just stand there and stare as he played, and being too much awe to actually jam with him. So I guess thinking back on all my favorite bands, it's got to be Tower Power's Dave Garibaldi. What a player! A drummer has to be good when in a band with Rocco Prestia, I listen also to the drums and just what they did together. I would love to just experience that. I'd love to, just lock into a groove, no matter how difficult or simple, and then just see and hear what Dave does with it. Just absolutely amazing drummer, an inspirational drummer. And yeah, I guess that would be my choice, playing with Dave Garibaldi, and then buying him a dinner and saying, hey, sorry for all those beats I dropped. So that's my answer. I can't wait to hear what all the other guys say.